Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame, that's
Yugi peoples, welcome to the commentary. Alright, so as y'all can see right here, this is me playing at locals against the JNCYCS champ Dennis Nodis, and I am playing Get Shifty Heroes versus his Rescue Ace deck. So I tell you right now, with this deck, whenever I start off with having to normal summon Stratos, it's probably pretty bad. You always want to open, like Solid Soldier with this deck as much as possible. And yeah, it's just like if I start off with normal summoning Stratos, it's probably not any good. So that's why you didn't see me activate the D Shifter, because I didn't have a follow-up play anyway, and the draw just really didn't end up mattering because there was no other play for me to make anyway. So when he starts his turn, during the standby or during the draw phase, I think he activated wanted, so I went ahead and chained D Shifter to go ahead and get that card banished and whatnot. And now he's going into airlifter play with emergency. He's going to go into battle phase, try to attack over the Stratos because it gains 500 attack from the field spell. I am going to go ahead and activate this mass change that I got here. Didn't have a shadow miss, so it would have been nice to have just did that instead, but things didn't work out that way. We're going to bring out blast, half the attack of the airlifter, and yep, I guess he's good anyway. He's got the emergency. He's going to special summon out, of course, turbulence, and all that stuff gets banished. He's going to try to activate the effect of it, and I am going to go ahead and imperm, and then I bounce the card back to his hand, and he tried to destroy it with turbulence because a card on his side of the board left the field due to one of my card effects, but it is imperm, so that did not work. Now, starting my turn is pretty bad. Y'all saw that I had grabbed that Liquid Soldier, which is no good since he forced me to use out my my mass change with the attack of the airlifter. But we're still good for the turn. We ended up drawing Solid Soldier, which I really wish I had last turn. It's all good. We go ahead and have the the end shuffle, and we're able to use it to put the Liquid Soldier back to go ahead and special summon out our Shadow Mist. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab that mass change because next turn I want to be able to Dark Law him, eliminate his graveyard once again. And since we do have a fusion monster and a regular monster out there on the board, we are going to be able to go ahead and link these guys off into SP Little Knight and banish him off the board. So yeah, things are looking, kind of up right now. One of the things that sucks is his ability to reuse the field spell to shuffle in. He goes ahead and special summons the Diabell Star, activates the effect to set one. And as you can see, I activate the SP Little Knight effect because the Diabell Star is bigger than my Dark Law, and yeah, I just don't want him to summon it and then me try to do mass change things and he just attacks over it. Now he sets the field the card. It has to send to the graveyard for cost. So upon seeing that, we're going to go ahead and activate the mass change, get Dark Law out there on the board, and prevent him from being able to send for cost. I tried to activate the Shadow Mist effect, and I really feel like this is the point where we lost the match. He ashes it, so it's going to prevent me from getting Liquid Soldier, and it's going to prevent me from being able to get my Honest Neos to, be able to out the Diabell Star next turn. So yeah, that ash on my Shadow Mist really ended up hurting, and it's it's one of the weak points of this deck is the lack of follow-up there. So he just goes to end phase, summons back the Diabell Star, and of course I didn't draw anything worthy of being able to out that guy. So from this point it feels like the match is just pretty much over. I don't have a way to push for game to keep him from being able to just like go full crazy combo next turn, because all he has to do is use the Diabell Star to attack over the Dark Law before he really does anything else. And the only interruption I end up having is SP Little Knight, which I'm sure he can play around with Rescue Ace. So yeah, during his turn, of course, he just attacks over the Dark Law, then uses the card to special summon out the Hydrant to search, go ahead and chain Little Knight just, to do it. And yeah, he's gonna continue on with the rest of his turn like nothing pretty much happened. And he's got the field spell. He's able to shuffle 4 off in there and draw another one. He decides to go preciate instead. And yeah, like I said, just one of the major weaknesses of this deck is drawing that Stratos without anything to go with it. An Omni Hero, that's perfectly fine. But in this one, instead of drawing Stratos, you really want to draw the Solid Soldier. And considering that it happens a little bit with Stratos, I'm actually thinking about adding Bubble Man off in there. That way, I can still, like I don't play too many. The only hand trap that I play off in here is D Shifter. So, as long as I don't open up double D Shifter, I should be able to, activate the Shifter and then special summon out the Bubble Man with my Stratos to at least, be able to make like Babushka or something, to get out there on the board. So yeah, that might be something I try in the next couple of weeks as I continue to try to find a way to make this deck, kind of meta relevant. I just like the fact of being able to play D Shifter to shut down a lot of my opponent's plays and stuff. The goal of the deck, is to shifter my opponent or to Darklaw my opponent if I went first, and then OTK them the next turn, possibly using like mass heroes and such. Yeah, it's just, a work in progress, things to do, because there are some decks that don't really care about shifter, and then there are some decks that they thrive off of shifter as well, so you have to be aware of those as well. And then also just that this deck is not technically like a 1-card combo deck where you can just like 1 card pop off and do things. It's kind of more like Virtual World where you need 2 cards to really be able to like set up a board and do what it is you want to do. So yeah, going into this game right here, technically, like if I play against a deck where like shifter is like really, really strong, then I usually like leave shifter in as a hand trap. But against this deck, like I feel like if they really wanted to, at times they could actually like side shifter against those decks that are more shifter oriented, and be able to play with it if they needed to. Matter of fact, I've seen them do it before. So I actually like go ahead and side the shifter out. Since I'm going first, I shouldn't have too much of a problem getting at least Dark Law out there on the board. And yeah, it's just like if y'all remember from way back in the Master Duel area, Master Duel game where this deck came from, the inboard is the dynamic duo of Babushka. Dark Law is really what I want to get out there. Over the past couple of weeks, I realized that I hadn't been doing it. I had been doing things like what's his name, Time Thief Redoer and such. But yeah, I think it's time to just get back to what it was originally meant to do, throw out the double floodgate and see if my opponent got to out or not. And so as you can see, going into this game, we started off a whole lot better. We do have a 2-card combo consisting of a Hero Lives and Solid Soldier. So we'll be able to do our Babushka, Dark Law play here. And, one of the strengths of this deck was being able to, set up the double floodgate with only 4 summons so that we could play around Nib. And also, because we're OTKing with mass heroes and such, it's a little bit easier also to be able to, since we do a lot of our summoning in the battle phase, that also plays around Nib. But, this format is looking like Nib is not going to be, too much of a thing. So, maybe that part of the deck is not as important. And I feel like, that was one of the strengths of the deck was, not only not needing the graveyard to necessarily set up and do things and be able to run shifter, but also to, make that Nib that the opponents feel like it's so good against heroes, just worthless. So yeah, we set up the Babushka Dark Law play. My opponent does have the Imperm for Babushka, summons the Airlifter. I am going to go ahead and chain the mass change to number 1, when he adds that card from his deck to his hand, to go ahead and try to banish it. And then also to make sure that this Airlifter as well as the emergency now actually ends up getting banished because we have Dark Law out there on the board. So yeah, my hand like ends up being like pretty interesting at this point, because we also have Droll in hand. So yeah, so there goes the turbulence, hit the board. And yeah, now he has to resolve the airlifter by adding a card from his deck to his hand. And he adds the rescue. So now we're able to trigger Droll, Darklaw, and Shadow Mist. And I want to do it in a specific order so that I don't, end up drawing myself. So we try to go Droll, Chainlink 1, Shadow Mist, Chainlink 2, and then Darklaw, Chainlink 3. And yeah, we ended up having to call over a judge to see if we could get it to work that way, and none of them are like mandatory effects, so it needs to be on Chainlink 1 or anything like that. So yeah, and all the conditions to be able to activate each card has been met, so you can just kind of activate them however you want to. So yeah, that means that the Darklaw things pretty much happens first, then Shadow Mist, and then Droll will keep us from adding for the rest of the turn. So yeah, don't remember which card ends up being hit with Darklaw, but he tries to activate the turbulence effect, and we also have the imperm for that, so it works out fine. Passes turn to me during the standby phase. We have to, get rid of one of our materials. We get rid of the Stratos. And one thing to remember when you play this deck, when you start your turn with Babushka on the board, please switch Babushka to attack position before you start doing things. Yeah. And yeah, that's just how it is. And, just like one of the things I'm going to forget to mess up here is the fact that when a card leaves my opponent's board due to turbulence, he gets to destroy a card on the board. So, we're going to Stratos, destroy the other card, but the rescue is going to summon out the airlifter. He's going to choose not to use the effect to, add, or he's trying to decide like the proper sequence in order to be able to do it. So I think it becomes like, yeah, I don't know, we were trying to figure it out, but like it becomes like airlifter on 1 and then turbulence on 2. And like I said, because a card got destroyed, and he's able to destroy one of my cards on the board, and then airlifter resolve to add the rescue HQ, which is just a mistake on my behalf. This is just one of those things especially against a deck like this, where you can't afford to make those kind of mistakes when you're playing non-meta, non-tiered deck in order to do it. So unfortunately, we're forced to use the Honest Neos to be able to attack over the turbulence, and then to attack over the turbulence and then attack over that one. But since we attacked with Babushka, we are actually able to bring out Zeus, and then we use Time Thief Redoer because I figure like he's a pretty good pair with Zeus. I can possibly get extra draws, as you can see right here, and then I can get him off the board when I use Zeus effect. So it keeps me having an extra monster out there on the board and such. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and special summon the Preventer here, which is really bad for me because he has Turbulence over there and Earlifter. So just anyway, when this card gets sent to the graveyard, it's going to, really, fuck some stuff up. So I'm forced to Book a Moon it because I really just don't want it leaving the board. We go ahead and Book a Moon it there. He's going to summon out this Droll and Lockbird, and I actually did not see this play coming. He goes into Link Karibo and then puts Typhon on top of it, bro. I was like, oh, I'm so bad. So yeah, because now this is gonna like make it to where now I can't even activate my Zeus effect. I don't know why. Like I just did not see the Typhon coming in. Yeah, it's a great play on his behalf, and yeah, I'll just go ahead and chain my redoer effect because Typhon does not target, and yeah, it just ends up being very unfortunate. I do get a trap with my Time Thief Redoer effect, which is not too bad, and Zeus is back inside of my extra deck now, so I can actually like still make Zeus again. So I'm actually like looking at Typhon to see, if that's actually the better option or what I should do here. And I end up going with that. We're gonna put the HQ back on top of his deck, and then we're going to attack over the preventer. And like I said, he gets the turbulence effect, which is pretty bad for me, but I do believe he has like enough off inside of there to be able to do it. But the turbulence is just able to attack over the Typhon, and yeah, I just got myself in really bad position there by destroying that card with Strato. So possibly, I'm not sure if there was a way I could have won that match, but I definitely could have played it better. But yeah, as y'all can see, this is Get Shifty Hero, kind of the way that things go sometimes, and I'm pretty sure like people ask, why do you only play 2 Stratos when it's obviously like, best hero card, in this deck is just not as strong, or maybe it will be stronger after I add in the Bubble Man. It just kind of depends, and we'll see how the deck works and goes and things such as that. But appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next video.
My wingman, he come through, he level up, he Goku, he's shining out and popping to over 9K. That's a breakthrough. Be on top now. Here's a look at our world.